Hello and welcome to the World Book Online webinar. My name is Rob Geertsen. I'm the sales representative for the state of Utah, and I'm here to introduce you to a whole bunch of awesome databases that you have at your disposal. I'm on the home page right now, and you'll notice that I'm logged into the Salt Lake City School District's page. However, if you are part of Nebo, Cache, Salt Lake, Jordan, Canyons, or Alpine School Districts, you have access to all of these databases and links that are listed on your screen. I wanted to show you the flyer that you guys should have access to. I will make sure that your media specialists have these. But you'll notice by going to worldbookonline.com at your school, you should be able to access these databases. And when you are at home, you would do the exact same thing, and then your ID and password are on this flyer. So this is the Canyons District flyer that each of you has your own flyer for your own district. So please get in touch with your librarian, and they can make sure that you get a copy of this flyer to help out with your students. I do encourage you to give these to your students and also maybe even email them to your parents or display the information on your teacher websites if that's convenient for you as well. So I'm logged into the Salt Lake City School District's account, and I want to jump right into World Book Advanced. World Book Advanced is a really phenomenal database. Has some great features, but before we get into a lot of them, I just want to introduce you to a basic article search. So I'm going to go into World War II, and just wanted to show you really quickly that on the left we get a lot of different types of results. You're not just looking at the World Book Encyclopedia. You have access to historical maps, presidential papers, articles, primary sources. In the middle, these are actual articles. And on the right, these are primary source documents. You can see the Japanese surrender. That's a cool one for World War II. I want to go right into World War II's article. And on the left, you'll notice that it's in kind of an outline format. So you have the introduction, causes of war, early stages of war, the war spreads, and it chronologically works its way through World War II, but it's in a nice outline format for students. The other thing is you can translate our articles into 30 different languages. So you're welcome to translate it into any of these languages listed on your screen. You can also hear the text read aloud, and all you would do is click here and then click on the text in the article, and a computerized voice would read it. And I also want to show you that down at the bottom of the article, which this is a really big article, has lots of pictures and maps and timelines and all kinds of cool things. But when you get to the end of the article, we already have the citation information for the student. So if they're having to cite sources, it's already done for them in MLA, APA, and Harvard format. And it also gives the contributor to the article, which is listed here as well. So anytime you want to go back to the home page, you'll notice the big World Book Advanced up here. I'm just going to click right there, and I'm now back to the home page. Wanted to jump in and show you really quickly our ebook center. And you can do a basic search into thousands of ebooks here. If you wanted to only go to downloadable ebooks, you would click here. I do want to point out there's an instruction sheet on how to download some of our ebooks, and you would just click here, and it's a PDF, and it will show you how to download to a Kindle, a Nook, an iPad, etc. But we're going to go into the downloadable ebooks, and I'm going to go to page 2 and take a look at Huck Finn. This is The Adventures of Huck Finn. I can read it over here on the computer if I wanted to. If I wanted to download the ebook, I would download it to an iPad by going to the EPUB format. I'd click download, and then it would download it here to the bottom of my screen, and then I can save the information, plug in my iPad, and then transfer the information, and it turns it into a great book on your screen, and you would flip it just like you would any normal ebook on those devices. Back to the home page, wanted to show you our Teaching with Documents feature. This is really cool. If you're a teacher wanting to integrate primary sources, these are lesson plans that are already done for you that will teach you how to integrate primary sources into your curriculum. So if I was a science teacher and I wanted to introduce my students to the telephone patent that Alexander Graham Bell did, this is a little historical background on what Alexander Graham Bell was doing. And if you scroll down, this is the actual patent in 1876. You can see it says A.G. Bell Telegraphy, and as you go down, it'll show that the inventor was A. Graham Bell, and this is his actual patent in history when he patented the telephone. I'm going to hit the back button, Wanted to also scroll down and show you a really cool one for U.S. history. This is called a literacy test. And this gives the historical background here. There's some teaching activities you can do with your students here. And then down here, this document, at the end of the Civil War, Alabama was part of the South, and they were not happy about slaves getting the right to vote. So Alabama passed this literacy test, and they told everybody, you have to pass this test in order to be able to vote. Well, slaves couldn't read or write, so this was actually a test that was designed for failure because they wanted slaves to be excluded from voting. So keep in mind, a slave that couldn't read or write would have a very hard time reading number 2, involuntary servitude, and so this test was designed for failure. It'd be a fun one to give your students and let them have fun and then talk about the historical significance. I could see this being used in English and history. Wanted to show you one more really cool one down here at the bottom on World War II. This was a date which will live in infamy speech, and it gives you the background here that talks about after we were bombed on December 7th, Roosevelt had to get together with his foreign policy aide, Harry Hopkins, and they were informed that we had been bombed in Hawaii, and President Roosevelt had to put together a speech to address the American people. So you'll notice there's some teaching activities. There's even a listening activity. You can listen to the speech. But this is the actual rough draft of President Roosevelt's Day of Infamy speech. So it says draft number 1, December 7th, 1941. And the first line says, yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in world history. And he's gone in and he's crossed it out and put in the word infamy. So for your students, this is a great way of introducing and showing the importance of a rough draft and going and making changes. But not only that, word selection and how important that can be. Because today, this is one of the most important speeches in American history, and it's known as the Day of Infamy speech. So that's a great one for your students as well. Over on the left here, I wanted to show you the citation builder. And the citation builder builds a citation in MLA, APA, and Harvard format. And so if I wanted to cite a podcast, I would click on Submit, and then I just plug in all of the information, and then I hit Create Citation, and it will build it in all 3 formats. So this is a great place to use the citation builder when your students have to cite not just World Book things, but anything. If they have to cite an encyclopedia article, a podcast, a blog, any of those things, they're all listed in there. And the last thing I wanted to show you really quickly is the My Research feature. I'm going to sign out. I was already logged into mine, but when you click on My Research, basically you guys would start from scratch by clicking on Create an Account. And I'm going to send out an instruction sheet to your librarian. It's going to look like this. So this says how to create a My Research account. This will walk you through the absolute steps on how to do this. And not only you as a teacher, but your students can create accounts as well. And the purpose in doing this would be really simple. If you want to go through our databases and find different things that you wanted to save and centralize to a specific location, you can do that. So I'm going to hurry and log in, and I already have a project here for our World Book Online webinar for you guys. And this just shows you that I have the ability to save encyclopedia articles, primary source documents, ebooks, literary criticisms, presidential papers, teaching with documents. Those are the primary sources that I just introduced you to that are lesson plans for teachers, maps, images, tables, timelines, and then even down at the bottom you can input your own websites, and you'll notice that I've saved a citation here of a book that I've read. And so this is a really cool feature where you can centralize your information. Not only that, if I was a student and I was doing research for English, history, and science, you can create different names. So you'll notice I've got an Africa, an Aztec, volcanoes for science. But I can create different folders, and then we go back to the home page and show you how you do it. Let's say that I wanted to go in and I was looking at the Declaration of Independence, and I wanted to save this to my research. All you do is click here. You choose what project you want to save it to, and then it will tell you your selection has been saved. And while you're still in the article, I can now go look at the table, and this shows all of the names of the people who signed the Declaration of Independence. So maybe I want to save that as well. and now that's been saved to my research. So it's very, very easy to go through and do that and save a lot of information on a specific topic. And again, it's the My Research tab up here, and it's also located here under Create and Share. So again, I'll send out the document that looks like this, and this is a document that you're welcome to give to your students. If you wanted to even take them to a lab in the library and teach them how to do this and get them all set up, that would be great. But anyways, that's another great feature that WorldBook Advanced has. Going back to the home page, wanted to just really quickly show you some highlights of other databases that you have. WorldBook Discover is really cool. This is a differentiated site that's built for students that are below reading level. So I'm going to show you that World War II article in Discover, and you're going to notice that it is very, very short, and there's the entire article right there. And they can still have the citation information down here. But basically what this is it's showing the student the gist of what happened during World War II. So this is assuming they're below reading level, and they just need the basic information. If they wanted more information, they could go down to WorldBook Student, click right here, and it would take them into a more advanced database that would give them more information. And like I said, the citation information is down here. Another great feature is our visual dictionary. It's found up here on the top left. And it's just what it says. It's a visual dictionary. So when you hold the mouse down, you can see house, symbols, astronomy, geography, science. I'm going to go into geology, and I'm going to specifically take you to a volcano as it is erupting. And this shows a great visual for science. If you were showing your students what happens during a volcano eruption, you can also translate it into French and Spanish right on the spot. But this would be great to display up on a smart board or up in front of your class on a regular screen with a projector. And it's just a visual dictionary. So as I go back home, you know, you can go into arts and meteorology and environment, and there's a lot of different topics in there. Back to the home page, I wanted to also show you the WorldBook Explains videos. And we're going to do a quick search on the World War II again. And now these are all videos that tie in with World War II. So if I wanted to go watch how D-Day was conceived, I would click here. And now it gives you the video. You can download the video. And if you click here, it would actually take you into the video. It's about 4 to 6 minutes, most of the videos. Sometimes they're as short as 3 minutes. But it's just a video that answers the specific question. So how was D-Day conceived? This video would answer that question very quickly. Then last on here, I wanted to show you our life skills section. I'm going to click on Go to Life Skills Center. And this is great for CTE for middle school and also financial literacy for high school. So let's just go into stepping into the working world. And let's say that you're wanting to learn about basic social skills, working, searching for a job. We'll click on that one. It talks about a resume, what job to look for, how to do a cover letter. When you have your interview, it gives you some basics. As you scroll down even further, it talks about being a savvy consumer. So these are all tips on buying a car, buying insurance, and selecting different things. But it's great for the core for CTE and financial literacy. So that concludes the WorldBook Discover portion. I'm going to click back here on the WorldBook Home. And just want to really quickly highlight in about the next 3 or 4 minutes, you do have access to dramatic learning. This is Reader's Theater, and these are scripts that are already done for teachers. So I'm going to click on Plays by Grade Level. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom to the 6 through 12. Let's say that I was a teacher and I wanted my students to do Hamlet. This will take you in. This is a PDF poster, and I'm going to show it to you real quick. What's cool about it is it's editable, and you can go in and plug in information. So down here it says presented by. I can type in my name. I'd put Rob Geertsen, date, time, place, and then you can save it, and you could actually use this as a display for your students to make them excited about the play that they're doing. Down here, you can look at the play script. So there's the cast of characters. Here's scene 1. And so you can see the parts are already laid out for the student. And all you do is download the script and assign parts. So this would be great for English or drama or any teacher who does Reader's Theater. Okay, so that's the home page of Dramatic Learning. Also want to really quickly show you Early Peoples. So if you're a teacher that teaches ancient Egypt, Greece, Rome, Incas, Aztecs, Mayas, or even any of these Indians. This would be great for world geography or history. Going back, we're going to look at inventions and discoveries. This is the history of the advancements in each of these areas. So let's say you were a math teacher and you wanted them to go in and learn about some of the history of math. It starts with early things and basic numbers, and it works its way up to modern things. So it's a timeline in a sense, but it chronologically works its way up historically to modern advancements. So the same would be true of astronomy and warfare and so on and so forth. And then the other one is living green. Each of these topics, these are great for science. So you also have a digital library that talks about these different topics as well. Wanted to also point out you do have access to some foreign language. This is the Student Spanish, Advanced Spanish, and then the Student French Encyclopedia. So let's say that you're a foreign language teacher and you were trying to force your student into the foreign language. You can see there's the visual dictionary in Spanish, plants and animals. I'm going to do a basic search on gato, so that would be cat in Spanish. And this is a great idea to have your students do a report on an animal in Spanish, and this is the information they would get. And as you scroll down, they can actually jump into the English version of the same thing, and then also it cites it in Spanish. So it'd be kind of fun for your students to learn how to cite in Spanish as they're learning how to do it in English, because most of the kids don't know what they're doing on either one. So it'd be kind of a fun thing. It says World Book recommends the following format, and then it shows it in Spanish. If I jumped into the English version of the cat article, it's a direct translation into English right on the spot. And then just concluding things up here, I did want to point out at the bottom, you do have a training guide. So if you're a librarian viewing this webinar and you want to train your teachers, this would be great. If you're a teacher and you're introducing World Book to your students, you could also use the training guide. And all you do is you come down, and let's say we were looking at World Book Advanced. You click on these blue tabs across the top of the page, and then it's going to show you, like, number 1 is the search tool, and it shows you right here. Number 2 is the research tools, and it talks a little bit about what's found there. And so you just click on these blue tabs across the top, and it would take you, now we're in the search results. So it's a great way for you guys to train and network and get the information out to your teachers or your students, depending on who you are. And that concludes our webinar. Again, my name is Rob Geertsen. If you ever have questions, suggestions, or just need any help whatsoever, I am available to you. Just go through your media specialist and get my contact information. And if you ever want to send me an email, I'm always here to help you out. And don't feel like you're bothering me, because I'm always happy to help you and available anytime you need me. Thank you so much for viewing today. I hope you find some of these features are really good for you and your students. And the next thing I would say is just start logging in and using it. The districts that have purchased these are obviously looking at all their usage. So the more you guys use it, the more likely they are to continue to renew for you. Thank you for joining.